The Sunday school lesson for May 14th, 2023 is the resurrection and the life. John chapter 11, verses 17 through 27. Welcome, viewers and subscribers, to my channel, The Backstory. I am Audrey. If you are new here, please know that you will become aware of the events that take place before each Sunday school lesson. The agenda is a standardized one. I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and then offer a brief lesson summary. Please subscribe if you have not already done so. Thank you so much in advance for your support. The backstory. Let's begin. The backstory is taken from John chapter 11, verses 1 through 16, which is the narrative immediately preceding the lesson text. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." Lazarus falls asleep. The story continues. When he heard this, Jesus said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." "But, Rabbi," they said, "a short while ago the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you are going back?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? Anyone who walks in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by this world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light." This is a gentle reminder. If you've not already subscribed, do so at this point. The story continues. After he had said this, he went on to tell them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." His disciples replied, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. And for your sake, I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." The backstory ends, and today's lesson text begins at this point. The resurrection and the life. John chapter 11, verses 17 through 27. Time, AD 30. Place, Bethany. Golden text. "I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live." John chapter 11, verse 25. Verse 17. Then, when Jesus came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Verse 18. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. Verse 19. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Verse 20. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Verse 21. Then said Martha unto Jesus, "Lord, If you hadst been here, my brother had not died. Verse 22. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Verse 23. Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Verse 24. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Verse 25. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Verse 26. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Verse 27. She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. A brief summary. Jesus' call to return to Jerusalem area caused his disciples to question him. They voiced concern for Jesus' safety, but no doubt self-preservation was on their minds as well. Yet it was in reference to that very issue, life versus death, that Jesus would perform the seventh sign miracle John included. The earlier signs demonstrated Jesus' divine power, but the resurrection of Lazarus would reveal Jesus' authority over the grave. The magnitude of this authority was shown because the grave had decisively claimed Jesus' friend. Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days when Jesus arrived. Both sisters met Jesus with the same words. If you had been here, my brother would not have died. Perhaps what we know about the sisters' personality differences helps us understand Jesus' different responses to the same statement. Jesus responded to the rational, task oriented Martha with a reasoned theological argument. With the more emotional Mary, he shared her heartfelt, passionate response to loss. Jesus wept. There could be no doubt about the source of Jesus' power. He directed all credit for what happened to the Father. Jesus designed this prayer and this seventh sign miracle with the witnesses in mind. When the existence and love of God are added to a situation, the whole equation is different. Jesus alone conquers death. For the rest of the narrative, read John chapter 11, verses 28 through 44. Thank you so much for watching. Join me soon for the next backstory. Stay safe and may God bless.